Well, well, well. What do we have here? Just another opportunity for greatness. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday. And market is at all-time highs again, right? So we're going to talk about how yesterday played out, right? The thesis from yesterday, we'll kind of review that. We hit the ES measured move, so we're going to break that down a little bit. NQ is coming up to this higher trend line, and we have our NQ macro target up 500 points higher, 24,500. I am up currently about 1,200 points on my 860 entry, 22,860, right? Swing trade that I mentioned back on the 1st of August, right? We had a nice dip by. Trump planned, right, his tariff. What I can't remember what tariffs those were, right? But he kind of announced that those tariffs were going to hit. We had a dip buy, and that's been a great long up to our macro target, right? So kind of just been talking about the same thesis, different flavors for the last 9 days. This will be about a 1,600 point swing trade, assuming I hold it to my price target, which I intend to. Had a sick trade yesterday. Took 10 NQ short off of the data. So that padded the pockets quite a bit. And then I went and I scurried off. I did take a little, very much lower leverage long, though. I did reverse my exit. Got some more money there, nice little day trade. Why didn't I do normal leverage? Because honestly, I was just mentally checked out on the day, and I had I could not think about trading the rest of the day. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts. Take a look at what we got going on. We can't see the screen. Let's get our. Might help if we could see a trading view, huh? Let's see. Why is it doing this to me? That's not the right setting. Hold on, folks. Settings. What is going on here? One second, guys. 1 second. Good morning. Good morning. My Streamlabs is crapping out on me. Ooh, that's loud. Well, we're getting bullish price action out the morning. I promise I'm gonna fix this soon. Streamlabs is being so weird. Let's see. See if I can add. Let's do a Sierra specific window. Yes. Whoa. All right. It's a little too big, huh? So weird. Anyways, fix that. Problem solved. All right, who we got? We got Kirthana. Welcome back. Oh, I gotta fix the Instagram one. The thing is massive. That thing is banging. A little too big there. All right, here we go. We got Kirthana, OG Trade, Quad, LOL, A7MD, Parvati, Distinguished Trader, SMK Prabhu and Muthu Kumar, welcome back. Appreciate y'all being here. My day 1, my day 2s, my day 3, 4s, and 5s. All right, let's talk about the chart. Finally got that open. I can minimize this, get Streamlabs out of here. Don't think I need that right now. So we pushed higher. You can see that we hit the ES measured move that was here before. NQ measured move is higher though, so kind of the way that I would play this is see if we get like a first checkup response. We did get close to this previously on the daily. On ES here, I'm going to expand this window actually, make it a little bigger. Is this cut off? Nope, you're good. Let's move this over just. Wow, I barely muted in time. It's a massive sneeze I just did there. All right. So see if we get like a first checkup response on ES since we just hit this level. Okay. We're at all-time highs again, right? We're in pure price discovery again on ES, on NQ. We got stuff everywhere. I'm gonna leave this up here as a good reminder. Okay, NQ, same thing. Pure price discovery. Okay, weekly at new highs here. Nice little tweezer reversal here. You can see here, this is important. I mentioned this before. In this uptrend, we got this high volume down candle, but the down candle stopped after sweeping some previous closes, right? And also at the edge of the shelf. This is important. Okay, I got faked out by, you guys remember, I tried to take a swing short off of a similar thing. I learned my lesson, right? It was this one right here. Okay, literally this thing uptrending. So we need to pay attention to how price respects the auctions in addition to the volume on these candles, right? Because you're always going to get some serious top wicking, right? At some point, that's fine. It could just be profit taking. But it found, right, this candle didn't just dip into low value, right? It actually stopped at this little shelf here on the lower time frame. So we're pushing higher. We got about 450 points to go on this long. That's really the trade idea, same trade idea that we've had. Okay, going for 24.5. You can see how having one thesis on the hires can really inform your trading, make it simple for you. And I hope that you guys caught a couple hundred points of, you know, this trade at least, if not a couple hundred. You know, Subramani, welcome back. Victor Gaming Planet, what's up? Welcome to the channel. First I've seen you. Take a risk. Good morning. Distinguished, I think I got you earlier, but good morning. Good morning, Rajamani. So the two questions, what are the questions we're going to ask ourselves every morning, guys? Let's put it in the chat. A broken record. I've given you guys the answers to the test. What are the two questions we got to ask ourselves every morning as traders? Really simple. Before we start plotting on how to make money, forget making money right now. If you're not already in a trade, it's too late for you, right? Let's think about 10 o'clock positioning. Where's the liquidity? Yes. And what's the other question that we got to ask? Distinguished got the first part. What is the second part? I forgot to hit live on. That's the first question. I'm waiting on the second one. Please like the stream as well. Those of you who sent me your emails, I passed those along yesterday to the guy, my contact at MFF. So I think that should all be resolved hopefully within the next 24 hours. I appreciate y'all's patience. I know the giveaway isn't as fun when you don't actually get your prize. So hopefully once I get confirmation that everybody's account has been provisioned, I will continue doing the giveaways. I might just do like a single day giveaway on Friday this week, but I don't want to create a bigger backlog of stuff that needs to be fixed. I don't think that's very wise, right? Okay, so the first question is, what liquidity matters? Okay, I want you guys to write this down so you can answer this on Friday. What liquidity matters? Okay, the second question is, how do we get there? If you frame your trading like this, okay, you'll probably eventually arrive at some system similar to mine. Obviously, you can just trade how I trade. But regardless of the system that you trade, you're going to do better overall. Okay, the market is ultimately a bunch of people trying to position. Okay, and so when we think about people where people are positioned, we can know where they have to make a decision. That's really fundamental to my trading. So all the things that I say and what I'm talking about, and I'm trying to figure out where the market's going, it's with this assumption that liquidity matters. Okay, and there's only certain few ways that we could reasonably get there. Right? So if we look at just NQ here, and the next thing we want to do is we want to characterize the market. Okay, if you download any of my free trading journals, see that this is essentially a process, right? So step one, let's characterize the market. Okay, well, one of the first characteristics right now is that we're in an uptrend, right? We're in an uptrend and it's a little rangy. Okay, so we are uptrending, but because we're rangy, you can see that we're breaking out of this price area, after, being a couple weeks here. But overall, okay, this rangy uptrend has been going on for a while now, okay? And until that changes, we want this to kind of be the constraints by which we trade, right? So we want to assume that because we're uptrending, we can hold longs. If we hold a long long enough, it will go green. Very important, okay? So important. If we hold a long enough, it'll go green. This is important from a risk perspective. We're risk managers, okay? We're managing our own capital stack. So we have to understand that we have essentially a buff on our long trades, and our short trades, we need to be snipers. Our short trades, you have to take profits on your short trades, right? Or, okay, the inverse is true. If we hold short for too long, it will go red. These two things are fundamentally important, okay? Macro target 24.5. After 24.5, we're going to reassess, okay? So this is really what I'm thinking about. So all my trading days so far, it's like if I take a short, it's going to be off of a prior day high sweep, right? Right, off of a level that I know people have to react off of, right? Where longs could be trapped. People who longed the previous session at the exact wrong time, right? Once we take them out, it's going to do a little liquidity grab, and then we'll go higher. That's exactly what we did yesterday with data, okay? We came. Let's go to the 1 hour. So yesterday at the data candle, we swept this prior day high, okay? Immediately reverted down to the POC. After attacking both primary liquidity areas, prior day high, came back to the POC, it then made the move. After doing the liquidity movements, right? So right now, if we add our session VP, let's see how far away we are from the mean. It's going to be important, right? We're coming up at 10 a.m. here in 3 minutes. We've got a naked POC below us, 23,911. We need to mark that. That is the wrong button. My keyboard just not doing the option J. There we go. It's weird. It's just naked POC, right? So from a liquidity area, this is the closest liquidity. Answering that question, what liquidity matters? So this liquidity matters. Okay, we'll go to ES on the 1 hour as well. See what liquidity matters on ES. The POC is not naked, but we do have overnight lows here, right? So overnight lows here, essentially very close here. Overnight lows on NQ are above our prior day POC, so we'll just mark our naked POC. We'll do prior day low here. Or sorry, this is overnight low. Overnight low plus POC. Prior day lows are down here. We'll just mark this pivot actually. There's our prior day low. Let's go to the 4 hour and we want to check, is there anything here, right, that's going to allow us to position for our macro thesis 24.5? This is really the trade I want to get, right? I want to figure out how I can position long for 24.5. I'm already long, right? I'm talking like this is how you should be thinking, okay? I want to position for 24.5. In my current predicament, it's not really ideal, right? The market's at basically the highest it's ever been, minus a few points, right? Not the best place to long. So what I want to ask myself is, look, okay, today, do I think that the market's going to come back for this liquidity before going higher? It's probable. We've had a pretty bullish open so far. Because we've had a pretty bullish open so far, we could have just a nice continuation. The POC's already shifted higher early, okay? So these are some important things that I want you to note and think about in others compared to other sessions, okay? POC shifted higher early, okay? So just ask yourself, let's see what happens because of that, okay? This is important, right? In a previous day, we had a B shape in the morning. We had a nice B shape. We have a very, not a B shape setup, right? We also just got a high volume doji that just closed. It's an up candle though. We do have a node here and a node here, but it's not a clean B shape, right? On the, I can't remember what session it was. We had a B shape early. This is a slightly different shape. So whether it happens or not, your best positioning long is going to be off of a liquidity grab. So either this naked POC or you can see here previous session VAL retest. That was this VAL that got retested here. If it runs that play again, that would be this VAL right here, right? Right. On in ES, that would be, you know, this purple line. I'm not going to do another line. We got lines all over the place. So for an in-shape bounce, we could see prior session VAL, prior day low is always on the table. If it does a deep cut, naked POC would be the first. So first long attempt, second long attempt, third long attempt, okay? First long attempt, second long attempt, third long attempt, okay? Whether or not you take those attempts should be guided by the volume profile at that time. So once we get to these areas, it doesn't mean you just willy-nilly slap something on. You can. What I would do is, depending on your conviction for each price, if you're low conviction on each price, then I would actually just set an alert and then decide once you're there based off of what you see, what makes the most sense, right? So I'll be watching. I want to see if we come down, test this naked POC. It's got a high volume close there. And what we got going on in the chat? What are my 4 key areas? Overnight high, overnight low, prior day high, prior day low. Yep, love it. Good morning, Conquistador. Welcome back. Click 56. What's up? Welcome back. Brando, what's up? What are my thoughts on the book Rich Dad Poor Dad? If you've ever heard of it. Oh, I've heard of it. It's a good book if you haven't thought about entrepreneurship and money. I mean, how would I say this? I don't know Robert Kiyosaki, but I know people that he knows. I would say this. Ideas are powerful. You know, I don't know if Robert Kiyosaki is the best person that you want to emulate, quite frankly, from a business perspective, but that book on its own has changed the lives of a lot of people. So I think it's a worthwhile read. There's other classics like, you know, Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill. You know, there's like classic mindset books that are really, really, really good reads. Yeah, it says 1997. Yeah. I'm an academic. I mean, sometimes it's worth reading things just for the sake of knowing that another person made it. And, you know, seeing if it helps you form new ideas. Do I have any ideas? Some the books that I like to recommend people are, I'll just type them in the chat, right? So Principles by Ray Dalio. It's not a trading book, but it's one of my favorite. I just sent an email this morning, Daryl, with everyone, all the stragglers. There's four straggler accounts, actually. You weren't the only one. So once those get resolved, I will do another giveaway. But I appreciate your patience. I know it's frustrating when you win and you don't really get your prize. So I apologize for that. Principles by Ray Dalio. Marketing Wizards, or not Marketing Wizards. Market Wizards. Holy crap. I've been thinking about marketing so much just in my own business. Market Wizards, Trading in the Zone. In the Zone. I should just make a book list and put it on a link, huh? Trading in the Zone. The other one was Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets. Now, this is an interesting one. I think it's an important read because I don't really consider myself a technical trader, but I think I'm very technically sound. And the reason I think I'm able to use, technicals in the way that I use them is partially because of that book. But check it out. But it's a very dry read. I'm telling you, compared to the other books, it is not a, it's not an easy read. You got to really love the game. But checking out, I've been getting really good. I'll say, man, if there's one way that you want to level up in life, this is for everybody. Read a book. I think there's this false idea that with the internet that the best ideas are just on YouTube and stuff like that. I think the best ideas are in books by far. Not to mention, this is definitely just like my own, subjective opinion. I think there's a degree of just, the more tedious a task like writing, like when you actually have to write the words yourself, the ideas are just better, right? It's slower. They're slower cooked. So they're just better, I'll have to also mention that literally billions of people have lived. Billions of people have lived. So probably every single thought that you've had, every idea, every frustration, every fear, everything that you're excited about, someone else has already experienced and thought of, and they may have written that shit down, right? And so there's a lot that you can learn and kind of shortcut, these struggles in your life if you go and read a book. So I digress. Go read a book. How do you evaluate price action as the POC shifts during the session? Say on the 4 hour, what does the POC shifting higher early tell you to consider? Good question. So timing is always important. Let's just use two extremes. Let's imagine a session where the POC is like a D shape, and then it shifts up at 1 p.m. POC shifts higher at 1 p.m. versus having a session where the POC is high early. We know that volume is going to come in, right? A lot of volume is coming in the first hour, so we know that this is going to change shape. So really, when the POC shifts early, the question we're asking ourselves is, how should we expect this to change, knowing that this first hour of the day is where most of our volume comes in, right? Versus when it shifts higher, obviously the POC is going to shift into the close, but that timing is important. It's something noteworthy is really to think about it. And the challenge for us as a trader is to think about what it means. Right now, typically when I see a POC shift early with a ton of volume, is it's an early sign that the market might want to just continue higher, right? There's a chance that we're going to start to just do this bleed up grind staircase action. The one thing counter to that right now is that we do have this nice high volume doji, right? Small body doji, but there is a pretty big imbalance higher, right? Meaning this wick might get retested. And so there's quite a few possibilities on like the 4 hour time frame right now. Honestly, we could do a candle that's kind of like this. We could get a nice follow-on candle that's like this. Okay. It could just chop inside of this area today. Let me go here. So within the next 4 hours, I actually don't have a ton of bias. Macro, outside of that, one way or another, this thing is going to 24.5. So candles aside, the main thing that I'm looking for is liquidity retest, or if this thing starts punching higher on either ES or NQ. ES's story is a little different. It doesn't have that same top wick here, right? This looks more just like a wide body candle. We could get another, or sorry, full body candle. We get another full body candle side to side. This retests this imbalance on NQ, and this thing bleeds higher, right? So this is not the best setup right now to position long, is the short version of everything I just said, unfortunately. There's a bunch of other books I've read, but those are the ones that come to mind. Oh shit. Sorry, I may need to run, guys. I have a quasi emergency brewing that I might need to go handle. All right, sorry. What do you think about the GC signal on the daily? GC. GC signal on the daily from the 8th. On the daily, green doji right below the tip after months of consolidation. Green doji. On the tip of the HVN. What day are you talking about? That's okay. Probably welcome. Yep, I sent an email this morning. Or not this morning. Yesterday with the four. It was four people. You were one of them. I sent an email. So once that's settled, the giveaways will resume. In terms of high volume signals, though, to answer your question, Orhill, August 12th. I wouldn't consider that a signal candle. It's relatively lower volume. So the volume on this candle is not high enough for me to consider it as an important candle necessarily, especially compared to like even just the prior day or this day. If this I did a full tweezer, right? If we had this higher volume, like down candle, then we tweezered, it'd probably get continuation higher like that. You could have a low volume tweezer, which would signal continuation, but we didn't get that. We just got a low volume doji. So it's not really in play. What about the 6 hour? Daniel was good. All-time high territory is not fun. I know. It's great for the investment portfolio, I'll tell you that. It's literally worth more than it's ever been. Start investing, kids. The 6 hour, I'll tell you this. This is kind of what I can't remember the last time I was looking at gold. It's literally Monday, I think. This is our relative range. We're right in the middle of it, right? So whether you go short, whether you go short or whether you go long, your risk is about 1-to-1. I'm not an RR trader, but I mean, in this case, it's just kind of a sign that this is probably not the best place to take a trade, like on this time frame. You either want to be executing down here or you want to be executing up here, really. Now, if you do take a trade here, it just needs to be high conviction. So again, it's a 1-to-1. It's not like technically terrible. The nominal value of this is pretty intense though, like the leverage on GC. There's this high volume doji here from, it's a very long legs on this thing though. Yeah, I don't have a large enough bias on this, unfortunately. POCs are lower. We've got 3 stacks lower. I mean, we could get sucked into any one of these. It's 3 POCs below us. Yeah, this could just be staircasing lower across this range. Yeah, not high enough conviction on that one. Quite is the, if I don't have an immediate like, it's gonna do this. Just don't have the data that we need. 2 hour, 4 hour, 12 hour, 30 minute. Nothing to do on that one. Did I send yours? I sent yours as well, Kirthana. Would it still be in play if it was higher volume but still located in the middle? If it sweeps a pivot or an edge and was high volume, yes. But it needs to be relatively high volume. I mean, in general, when I'm scanning the charts, like the only candles that I'm really cared about are ones at edges, or like, I don't even have to look at the charts. Like, I'm just like, what is every high volume candle? Like, what happened on this candle or this candle? Right? This candle and this candle. Like, it's just all these high volume candles are the only candles that matter. Are there outliers? Sure, but it's like, why even look at them? You know? Why even waste the brain cycles? Do you trade any other instruments besides NQ? A few equities, options, but to be honest, not really. If ideas come across my table from people, I'll take a look, right? Platinum, for example. Okay, I took a swing attempt on platinum, and then I got stopped out break even. I did not re-enter that short. I might. It's behaving differently than I expected, quite frankly. So I have not reinvested any more brain cycles into that. My philosophy on trading, though, is if I can't efficiently evaluate a ton of tickers, I'm not really interested in. I'm just also too busy. Like, I just don't have time. Like, my trading time right now is I spend time planning. I have a review session on the weekend. I execute, and then I review my trades again in a cycle. and I spend time doing deep research on the options of these tickers that I trade, which I don't talk too much about on stream here. Just keep it on futures, but I do a lot of poking around to try to find asymmetric returns on like SPX, essentially, and a few other equities as well. I'm always open to a unicorn, though. If I see a unicorn prancing through the field, I'll bust the sniper rifle out. We'll get him. I'm going to jump here in 10 minutes, guys. Why do I prefer NQ to ES? I trade them both. I mostly trade NQ just because of the leverage. Like, if there's a thesis, because these are very tightly correlated, if there's a good trade idea on either of them, or really at the same time, I'll make more on the same trade idea on NQ than if I just traded ES. That's really the only reason why. So if I see a 4-hour setup on both charts, that confluence between both charts gives me an added degree of certainty for over the next, whatever period of time. Taking that trade on NQ will make you more money than taking it on ES. But you could take it on ES and trade ES and still make money. And there's people who just trade ES. Some days, if I feel like NQ is being weird, I'll just trade ES. And that's usually it's actually a mechanism that has actually reduced my losses. I noticed that some days I was forcing, like some days I literally knew what ES was going to do, and I wasn't as sure as what NQ was going to do, and I noticed I was chopping myself up, but they were just diverged, and I was like, why didn't I just trade ES today? Like, I knew this was going to happen. Why didn't I just switch? So now, I'm still not perfect, but now whenever I smell that, I can feel that happening. I'm just like, I'm just going to trade ES, and it's a way to have more green days, but more importantly, reducing red days, just red trades in general. VIX moving up a little. Yeah, it'll poke around. I mean, because we're at all-time highs, VIX should be smashed. It's going to find support and it's going to flip, right? Yeah, we're at that 15 level. So this is right where, I mean, in this area, we also have this trend line on the VIX. Let me line it up. You got to be specific with your trend lines, guys. There's no point in using a line if you're not going to line it up. So we got this trend on the VIX. All right, is it going to crash to 12? I don't know. It'll probably do some intermediary bounce here. 1576, probably around. Yeah, probably right around here. So where I think the VIX will bounce to. Let's see. Probably go up to here. Put that right there. This week giveaway, I'm gonna do it on Friday. I'm just gonna do the whole giveaway on Friday, and hopefully all these other previous accounts will be tidied up by then. New studio all set. It's getting there. It is getting there. Let's go ahead and invest some $60 today. I think I did this on stream the other day. We'll do this last and we'll get on out of here. Dude, why is it doing this? It's so weird. It's not letting me change the source for any of my sources. Do not understand. All right, well, let's just add another one. We want to do a window. We'll add a new source. We'll call this Robinhood. Whoops. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. We'll add Robinhood and a little too big, huh? Boom. Okay. Studio setup tour needed? I'll do one. Let me get this on my smaller screen up here. All right, so this is my social media investing account that I started to show you guys the power of investing a little over a year ago. It's up to $20,200. Let's go ahead and live invest $60 in a VOO again. So for those of you who aren't on the investing train yet, let's talk about why. Let's actually open up, okay, compound interest calculator. Okay. I did this in ChatGPT last time. We're going to do it in here. So let's assume my initial investment is $20,000. I'm 34, so we'll just use retirement age. I don't know if people will retire in the future with AI, but let's just assume that people can still retire. I do $1,200 a month. How did I get that? Well, right now I do $60 a day. 6 times 5 days in a week is 300. 300 times 4 weeks in a month is $1,200. Okay, I'm going to do this for 31 more years. 34 plus 31 is 65. It's retirement age. I'm going to do 8% interest rate compounded. Nice conservative rate. And you guys can see that this will be worth about 1.9 million. If we change interest rate up to like 10%, it's probably the ceiling that I would do. Right, it's an extra million in my pocket. So this bottom line is the savings rate. If you just save this money, right, I would have under $500,000 through investing it. I more than 4x my return. So no matter how you make money, whether it's high income or trading, you should invest your money. Okay, and this is just this small account. So go ahead and do $60 into VOO, the S&P 500 ETF, hit review order. And I just DCA in. I'm not going to try and buy the low. I bought all the lows. I've caught every single low possible. I've also caught the highs, right? But because I just throw money in, I always get the best prices. You can see my total return on this position is $1,500. Go back to the portfolio in general. Here's what we got, a bunch of other stuff in there. So that was that. Definitely ask some questions on that if you have any. But that thing continues to grow. When free reset? I haven't asked for any free. I mean, I could probably give away some free resets if you guys wanted them for like one of the giveaways. I could, but I think a free account is basically the same thing. So weird. Coming down, we got that kind of full body candle. We're coming down here. So naked POC, prior day or overnight lows coming up. This would be the area to get in long. Okay, you can see why, as I mentioned earlier, this is not the place to long. Even if we did just immediately bleed higher, Okay, it's still not the place to long. And that's the thing about trading that you guys really need to like internalize and lock in. If you missed a good entry, don't take a bad entry. There's nothing special about this macro move that you have to get. Okay, the most important thing that you could do for any move is learn about it, because the market's open every day. It will continue to be open, and eventually you'll catch one, and you want to be able to execute. You want to be able to execute it well. It's really, really important. If you got zero of this move, that's fine, as so long as you are testing ideas, trying to understand the move fully, right? Because if you can understand this move, it'll happen again eventually, some version of it, and you'll catch the next one. But don't take a bad position just to get some. It's just not really, it's really just not useful for your trading long term, to be honest. Where did my YouTube window go? I lost it. Here it is. Nope. How one can start investing their min bucks needed. You don't need a bunch of money at all. You can do Robinhood, and a few other brokerages allow you to do partial shares, right? And that's why I chose that as an example. But you can do $5. Just wanted to fit in most of the chatters. Yeah. What's up, man? Hey, Forrest, how come the POC can be different on different time frames? It depends on how it's calculated, right? So the volume profile is essentially a histogram, and each one of these bars, if anyone doesn't know what a histogram is, it's just a bar chart, right? These are buckets. Okay, the buckets are being filled in with transactions. Every time there's a transaction at a price, they say, hey, put one into that bucket. And so the bigger the bucket, the more transactions that were there. So it really just depends on how they're calculating those buckets and updating them in real time. That's all. I don't pay too much attention to the little nuance in like whether it's shifted up on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, right? That's kind of just noise to me. What's most important is the shape and how the shape is changing. Okay, so if I could see that this shape is getting bigger, right? The shape is getting bigger. Eventually, I know it's going to shift lower, right? Also, the candlesticks themselves. So I use it all together, but it would be nice if, you know, it was all the same. I'm sure it's fixable. It's just not something that I worry too much about. Do you hold any trades today? Swinging long, just my swing long. Going for 24.5. That is it. So the 22,860. So this trade. I'm trying to put it right at 860, but wherever 860 is down here. I'm just going for 24.5. Same thesis until we hit my measured move, or I see some information that says that this measured move is off the table. I'm just trading to that line. Okay, see ES hit his measured move and push through it. We also front ran it once before already. So pretty much guaranteed to do this punch through maneuver. We'll see how close I get. I've gotten pretty close to my levels. I'm curious at NQ if I'm gonna snipe this thing to the penny again. It's more of an ego thing, but I think I'll get it. I think I'll get it to the penny. The most annoying is when the POC is on the same time frame shifts. If you change the window on TradingView, yeah. Top wick on the 1 hour, top wick on the 2 hour. It's green, but it is a top wick. So again, liquidity is all lower. Probably going to grab some of that before we go higher. Or we're going to build a huge node. We're going to build a liquidity shelf to rise out of, which would just look like a chop. So where the SVP and VRVP nodes are getting bigger is where you can expect to look for price to go for a period of time. 100%. Yep. Indeed. All right. It is 10:33. I do need to run. We'll be back on Friday for the free stream. It'll be myself. I think it'll be a few people on Friday, right? So check in for that. I think there's still, there's 50% off resets on MFF, and all my links, if you guys want to grab some accounts or whatever, I think are in my Stand Store link, which is at the bottom of the stream. You can check that out as well. So slow day, kind of closing thoughts here. Wait for a good price. Naked POC or the overnight low plus POC on ES, prior day low, right? These are the only areas you should be looking to execute a trade on. Anywhere else is going to be less ideal. Okay, upside target, macro NQ 24,500. Okay, I'm going to swing long for that. I've taken 0 RTH trades today. Bagged considerable profits yesterday. I'm just chilling. For now, my first executions today will be if we get down to any of these areas right here, right? First one is 23,911. Cool. That's it. Thanks for checking in. Please like the stream, and I will see you guys on Friday.